That's the first thing I tell people. The micro influencers are where it's at, nano influencers, whatever we want to call them. But yes, you can have very successful partners with 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 followers. Like you said, the advantage is one, their hustle. They are happy to work with you. They want their campaign to be a success. They want to keep working with you and make sure that that initial trial run that you give them works.
You're listening to eCommerce Fastlane, the podcast show to help you build, manage, grow, and scale a successful and thriving company, powered by Shopify. Listen to real conversations with partners and subject matter experts as they share proven practical strategies, platforms, and the best Shopify apps to help you accelerate your business. The time is now for you to improve efficiencies, grow revenue, profit, and lifetime customer loyalty. Please welcome your host, startup founder, and strategic advisor, Steve Hutt.
This episode is brought to you by Little Data, the e-commerce data platform for modern direct-to-consumer brands. Little Data has been bringing server-side tracking to Shopify stores since 2017, and their focus has always been on helping brands to get accurate data automatically. Stores like Rothy's and Athletic Brewing use Little Data to capture first-party data and send it to the tools they already use, like Google Analytics, Segment, and Facebook ads, plus connected data warehouses and reporting dashboards. The first thing merchants notice after installing Little Data is their Google Analytics data is now accurate and 100% complete, from marketing channels through to one-off orders and repeat purchases. Their e-commerce data platform hums in the background of your store, sending waves of information like events, purchases, subscriptions, lifetime value, and more, so you can make data-driven decisions with data that you can 100% completely trust. It's honestly a breath of fresh air for brands who have been working with bad data and confusing analytics, or trying to build segments and look-alike audiences without having the right data to power them. Now, Little Data is a no-code solution, and they now have a 30-day free trial on all of their plans. They also offer free data consultations with their analytics experts, so make sure you check them out today at littledata.io. Well, hey there. My name is Steve Hutt. I'm Senior Merchant Success Manager here at Shopify, and welcome back to, believe it or not, the 6th season of eCommerce Fastlane. So exciting, 300 some episodes, and I just thank you so much for being here. I just really appreciate the fact that, if this is your first time listening or you're a weekly subscriber, thank you so much for listening into the show today. I know there's plenty of podcast choices out there in kind of direct to consumer and e-commerce and marketing and strategy and all that sort of thing around e-commerce. Just the fact you're here today means the world to me, and I know it definitely does for my featured guest. If this is your first time listening, this is an e-commerce show. We have honest and transparent conversations like I do with my book of merchants, really to help build and scale a business with your stores powered by Shopify or Shopify Plus. Now, if you're an ambitious lifelong learner, which you likely are since you're here today, you're definitely in the right place. I also highly recommend to get the full value of today's episode that you click through from whatever podcast app you're using. There'll be show notes over at ecommercefastlane.com. Everything there will be there. Show notes, transcript, links, and resources. A lot of fun stuff over there. So that'll really help kind of add on to the show for today. So let me do that again. In today's episode, my guest is Brett Owens, who's the Chief Collab, I love this name, the Chief Collab Matchmaker and Founder. I got that on the web. This is good. From a company called Afluencer. And what they are is they're an influencer platform, and they help Shopify brands. They have an app. It's really cool. And they connect with other influencers, and creators. Excellent conversation. I believe it's very, very timely. I have a lot of calls with merchants right now where CAC is high, the acquisition costs are high, ROAS is just not working for them. They've got to come up with a solution of how they can be more affordable to acquire net new customers. And I know the influencer and the creator economy is what's making the difference. So, hi, Brett. Welcome to eCommerce Fastlane.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I don't want to butcher what your brand does because it's very unique. I've had a few minutes to go in, and I actually added your app to my demo store, and I've gone through your website, and I know we've kind of prepped a few questions, but I want to kind of go on serendipitously and kind of talk about the influencer economy and the market in general and why you're being so impactful helping these direct-to-consumer brands. So talk on a high level first about Afluencer, the company, and what you believe the problems that you're solving.
Sure, and thanks for the great intro again, Steve. Yeah, you know the space well, and you nailed it. As marketers, we're looking for ROI on our marketing spend, and in years and even the decades past, right? I mean, we all kind of came up doing the Google AdWords, the Facebook ads more recently, and you're trying to figure out how you can spend $1 and get more than $1 back. So my background is in the affiliate space, and actually with Shopify merchants. A company called Lead Dino was a company I co-founded last in 2012, and we had a lot of success with Shopify merchants. We developed an app, really early days for what that was. I think it was 2013. We were in the Shopify App Store. And the nice thing about affiliate marketing, as you know, Steve, is that you can kind of guarantee that $1 you put in is gonna return for you because you're paying based on sort of that success or a commission. So, right. So somebody sells, if you're selling a skincare product and somebody sells one order for you, you can give them 15% of that order, and you're positive on the ROI thing. So what we're doing here with Afluencer is we're kind of taking the spirit of affiliate marketing, and we kind of have a double approach, and both work well. One is we like to tap the micro influencers, sort of the up and coming crowd, and we find that they make great affiliates for you, and they may even be higher quality than kind of the traditional, just large scale Costco style affiliate networks, right? Where you've got somebody maybe scraping clicks. We can find someone who's very specific to your product, the interest that your product serves. If it's a fitness product, we want to find a fitness influencer. And again, on the couple prongs, that's how we're sort of segmenting type of person that we want to work with. So if you're looking for a commission type thing, then we're looking for the nano, the micro influencers. People are up and coming. They have content very specific, followers very aligned that you're trying to reach. And we're going to offer them a percentage, or more of the traditional newer age influencer and creator marketing economy, where we'll say, hey, we're going to give you $50 for a post, $100 a post, $1,000 a post, whatever that is, kind of up or down the scale. So someone would then create a post or a video for you and post it on their Instagram, TikTok, and then ideally generate sales. So that $1 we put in is not just $1.05 back. We're looking to put in $1, see if we can get $10 back, right? $20 back. Take advantage of the scale that these social media networks provide for us.
What I find interesting too, you talk about micro influencers or nano influencers. It's interesting. I feel that they want to hustle a little bit harder because they have a lot more to prove. Like sub 10,000 followers, sub 50,000 followers. I'd say even some smaller niches, they have even less followers, but they have a highly engaged community and they really love and trust them. But the reality is, I think they really want to put in the extra effort when a brand chooses them, and this is how they're choosing to earn a living. I think every deal counts for them. And so you can really tell in the final product versus maybe the unfortunate assembly line that happens, or a truly pay to play kind of larger, celebrity endorser of a product. I mean, my wife has recently kind of unfollowed a lot of larger celebrities because every second post, that they don't have all these supplements in their cabinet. They're very clearly getting a large payday for, talking about something kind of indiscriminately versus maybe something a lot more authentic. I'd just love to understand your mindset around, like you mentioned a little bit, but is that true that you see that these nano and micro influencers actually may be producing even better content?
100%, Steve. Yeah, that is exactly my mindset. I teach our new brands when they come on board, and this is new to. So for your listeners who this is new to, they're not alone. This is this whole market is new, where there's a lot of great opportunity there. But that's the first thing I say is like, hey, we're not looking to pay $1 million a post to a Kardashian, or like you said, for a celebrity, where as a brand, it's going to be very expensive to get the post, and they're going to take your money and they will do a post. And then the relevancy becomes an issue with the million plus followers because they are being followed because they're celebrities, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're aligned. And like you said, your wife's unfollowing these people because you see some posts come through and then you think to yourself, why am I staring at this person's life? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for me to look at their commercials. That's the first thing I tell people. The micro influencers are where it's at, nano influencers, whatever we want to call them. But yes, you can have very successful partners with 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 followers. Like you said, the advantage is one, their hustle. They are happy to work with you. They want their campaign to be a success. They want to keep working with you and make sure that initial trial run that you give them works. Many are happy to work on commission. Many will work for a very reasonable cost per post. So I tell people as low as $25, you can get a nice post from a micro influencer. $100, you can have someone with 10,000 followers maybe do a nice post for you. And it's all about that relevancy, right? You want someone who's laser focused on their interest, which aligns with your product. So we want that health influencer for the health product, for the supplement, right? We don't just want the celebrity. We want the health influencer who actually either has the supplement or is going to start having the supplement. They've checked out the product and it's a good fit. And now we've got that match there. If we've got yoga mats, we want yoga influencers. We don't even want them posting their dog unless they're on a yoga mat, right? We want a laser focus, yoga. So that's what we're looking for. And that's what we can really find with that micro influencer range. I think that is really the perfect spot for many merchants to be looking. And the beautiful thing is once you get a working with the micro influencers, a campaign, your pattern, you can always scale up. But the nice thing is you can get going on a very reasonable budget.
I was going to ask you too, like you said, the prices seems very affordable for those that are listening that are not involved in the influencer side. You know that there's benefits that, for the reach you're going to get in the niche that you're involved in. Can you talk a little bit about how people go about doing it? Like, is this like a one-time post and you kind of see how well that creator does? Are there any like kind of commitments on the platform? Maybe just walk us through what people expect if they add the Shopify app to their store and then say, yeah, I just don't want to kick the tires. I actually want to use this. I want to try this right now. I want to know what the steps are and then the financial commitment to the platform.
Yep. Great question. So when people are thinking from a budget standpoint, I guess before they even add the app, we are usually the least of the budget, I tell them. So we have, our app itself is a 30-day free trial and then it's $49 a month every month. And then, as long as you have the app, right? But I do usually recommend going into it, you kind of want that $500, $1,000 plus budget. That money is going to go to the influencers that you're working with. And here's how I would recommend splitting it up. So from a workflow standpoint, then say, okay, let's give this a shot. Add the app, you get it into your store. And then the next step is to post a collab. And this is where I would usually chat with somebody if they want that help going. And we would get on the horn like this, share a screen. Usually I share my screen because I've got some collabs going myself and I'll take them through what I'm doing and what works. But a collab, as you mentioned at the outset with my tongue twisting title, did a great job on that one. The collab short for collaboration. It was, it's funny. It's a term that was out there a very little bit when we were deciding what to call it in our app. And I said collab, and our lead developer, he kind of scratched his head and looked at me, but he humored me, and we called them collabs, and now it's almost like an industry standard on that front. But a collab is basically a sort of a partner opportunity. So it's you're defining the criteria of who you're looking for. So you've got our app in, and then we know your store, and we can help kind of get you set up with the logo and all that. And the collab is almost like a job description for a partner where you're going to say, hey, here's our brand, here's our product, or the specific product that we're looking to promote with this collab. So if you have different product lines, you may set up more than one of these collab opportunities. And we're saying, okay, hey, we're looking for micro influencers. We want 5,000 or more followers. We are looking in the travel space. We've got a travel product for a friend whose company uses us to do a little bed bug spray. Oh, nice. So, okay, we're looking for travel influencers, right? Micro influencers, $5,000. What we want you to do is we want you to take our can of bed bug spray and travel around and post pictures. And when you post, we will pay you. And what we recommend is doing like a little range on the price where we'll say, since we're looking for micro influencers, we'll pay you $50 to $100 a post for this. And we're looking for travel. And if you have a preference on demographics in terms of gender, age, that type of thing, we can also kind of use that and then filter on that. So now influencers who they're users of our system. So if they meet your criteria, they're allowed to apply. So if I'm looking and I'm a travel influencer with 8,000 followers, I can apply. You review the application, you say yes or no. And if you say yes, then there's an introduction that's made. And that's the point at which you can say, hey, yeah, we'll offer you $100 per post. Now, how do you make that decision? You make that decision based off of some other information that we give you. So we'll show you the person's latest post, their engagement rate, which are the numbers of likes and comments. And that's kind of an important metric because we find that correlates most common with sales. So we're going to kind of offer them, but to your initial question, Steve, it's going to be a one-time opportunity. And what we're doing is we're saying, hey, we'll offer you $100 for this post, or a reel, which is a short video. And those are doing really well just generally on these platforms. So you do it one time, and if it works, then keep working with that person. And if not, then kind of say thank you and move on. But that's what we're looking for, is kind of that stable of partners and the people who we can keep working with every month or on an every other month basis.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I'm thinking also another thing about rights management. I don't know if you can talk a bit about that, because I think, if you are going to pay a creator, say $100 a post, couple $100 a post, and you're willing to test it, and you feel warm and fuzzy that these are the right people. This is your tribe that you want to kind of share the opportunity of your product or your service. And so out it goes, they create this content. Who owns that content? And is there any other opportunity to boost posts and to use it separately, like UGC on the website and other different things, like kind of post deal, I guess, through your platform?
Yeah, that's glad you said UGC, because that is one big advantage that you can have from this approach. So user-generated content for UGC, and that's been really something that a lot of brands, right, have been looking for. Like, how do we get the content because people just kind of tune out anything corporate now. They want to hear, it's got to be authentic. They want to see it from users. And this is really that best way to get that UGC, the user-generated content. So in terms of who owns it, that is absolutely something that we want to kind of clarify with the influencer up front, because by nature, it's their content. They own it. That said, if that is part of your collab and you said, we would like to repurpose this, we would like to boost these posts, we would like to republish these videos. I myself have never had someone have an issue with that if it's clarified up front. And maybe there's a bit of a extra that you're going to pay them so that you own the content. But really, they're already creating the content. And I myself have never had an issue if I've done two things. One, if I've clarified that up front with our partners to say, hey, this is what we're looking for. We would like to repurpose the content. And then number two, give them attribution when we run the content. So if someone produces a reel for us, I guess I'll give you another example where we don't actually need to own the content, but we do have users who produce videos for us, and they're awesome, and they are far superior to anything that I could ever come up with myself. And it's great because they think of ways to pitch products that you yourself as the brand wouldn't think of. And that's exactly what you want, right? You want them talking in their language to the language that their followers are. So that's perfect from a UGC standpoint. So when we run it, if I don't have explicit permission, you can always, it's out there on social media, so I can link to it or I can show it, and always with attribution to that person, right? This was produced by Alina for us. This is her video, so I'll link to her video, but her video is talking about us. So it's kind of a win-win from that standpoint also. But I do clarify up front with that, said, hey, here's, we're going to run it in our newsletter or something. I hope that's cool. And I've never had someone say no, but I think it's always great to have a conversation up front so that they're kind of copacetic on that when we're looking from the UGC as an added benefit of these efforts.
Yeah, I love it. I love being able to rotate and move things around on the product details page with UGC, because like these kind of reviews and these kind of visual reviews and stuff like that just are so powerful. I find that's what really just kind of puts me over the edge. The know, like, and trust factor, and they see someone like them using the product with a video or an unboxing. It's so interesting that this kind of thing is available. My other question I have is around payment. You made one comment that there is some opportunity for negotiating kind of a one one-off price point based on, their micro influencer size and the campaign you're trying to do. But there's also a pay for performance kind of opportunity, like an affiliate arrangement. So does your platform kind of allow for that negotiation on either side? And is there tech built into it so that the attribution is it through a coupon code? Is there quote unquote like the lead dyno kind of technology of like a session of some sort, a cookie, or just want to understand the pay for performance side, knowing how the creator gets paid versus maybe the one-off, hey, post and it just could blow up on its own. There's no pay for performance.
Right. Yeah. Great question. So we are on the tech side. We do not, at least not yet, on attribution, link tracking. So how we recommend and how we have our merchants split it up is from a recruitment standpoint. I always have them think of us as like your recruitment engine. If you're doing an affiliate program, we will feed that system. So our job is to go get affiliates. That was always the big need of our customers in my previous companies. They always wanted affiliates, and we did the tracking, but we didn't provide affiliates. So we are on the Afluencer side. We will go find those micro influencer, nano influencer affiliates. And then you can go and what we say is have them sign up with Refersion, right? Lead Dyno, Referral Can, wherever you're doing the link tracking, and get them signed up there. And then that app will handle the payment of the commission, and that's what they do. And maybe we get into that someday, but our job is we do kind of a lot of these apps do a good job of all the tech, except they don't go and find you affiliates, which is kind of like the one. I mean, it was always a big frustration of our previous users that they installed the app, and everyone wants. We all want the easiest solution, right? And they want a one click and say, okay, well, where's my affiliate showing up? So we always went through various kind of iterations trying to get them affiliates. We had our own little affiliate network we were doing for a while. So anyway, that's what we do. So you can use us in tandem with, and if you have a current affiliate app, we will gladly send affiliates there. No need to do anything on the tech side. Just keep using what you're using. We're just trying to get you those partners. And on the payment side as well, from a mechanic standpoint, something that we may do in the future. Currently, the kind of best practice I recommend, the way we pay our own influencers for pay per post, and what our brands do is PayPal is pretty simple in terms of doing that, getting that over. If you can get, now once we get into payments, depending how much you're doing, how much you're shipping product, maybe a good idea to have a basic agreement or template in place. So that's, I'm not a lawyer, but I did have our counsel do an agreement for us. I do share that with our users who kind of want to see the template that we have in place. Not that if you're shipping a product and someone takes off with it, not that we're going to, legal up or lawyer up or anything, but I always think it's the more out of pocket or commitment on your side. It's good to have people just fire them off a little document they can sign on hello sign. It makes it more real from the agreement standpoint.
Today's episode is brought to you by Little Data, the e-commerce data platform for modern direct-to-consumer brands. Little Data makes it easy to get accurate sales, marketing, and customer data in the tools you already use, like Google Analytics and the new GA4. But doesn't stop there. They also power audience building and better retargeting with LTV data and subscription integrations like Recharge and Smarter. See how other brands are crushing it by using Little Data, and get yourself a free trial 30 days by visiting littledata.io. So you're talking like product seeding is what you're talking about then, as far as getting product into someone's hand, and then sometimes product goes to the creator and that is the payment.
Right. Yes, exactly. Right. Some are product only and that's the payment. Or yes, it could be product only and then maybe they're getting a commission off of that. Right. Or maybe you're doing even a pay per post, but you're shipping the product. You're not paying them until they post, but you do have product going out the door, and that's a cost and that's an effort on your side up front. So that's why we're kind of want to make sure we know who we're working with.
Right.
We do rate all of our users based on their engagement within the app. So you can see how responsive they are to messages, which is helpful, but also always kind of a good idea to just kind of get the basics in place.
Well, it feels
more
like your Uber driver, right? Your Uber driver, with the previous
right.
rides, how good they are and how many successful rides and they're getting tipped or not and these sort of things. So it kind of makes sense how they engage with brands and creators. It's one thing I noticed that's unique about your platform, and maybe that's part of your value prop, which I'd like to talk about now, is that I see on the homepage of Afluencer, you have I'm an influencer link, and they go, I'm a brand link. And so has this been intentional, like how you're differentiating, I think, because other kind of quote unquote influencer marketing kind of platforms, and we can rattle them all off. There's tons in the App Store. You can Google it, whatever. But they seem to be more of a large database of potential influencers. However they've scraped them, and there they are. Where I see, it seems on your side, you're like, hey, an influencer could actually come, and sure, there's people listening today that are not brands who say, yeah, I like to earn some money. I've never heard of this. I might want to sign up. So I see a link for that, and I see a link for a brand. So can you talk about that intentionality behind that, and then maybe how it directly is in contrast to a lot of the other competitors in the space?
Yeah, and thanks for bringing that up. That's it's been an emphasis of ours from really since we started Afluencer from day one, is having our influencers as active users of our brand, of our software, our community. So everything that from a collab standpoint, they're actually logging into our app to apply to these opportunities, to receive it. They can receive invitations also, which I didn't mention before, but brands can also send them out invitations. But it all happens within our app, which tends, and that's been the feedback of many of our brand users as well. It's a huge advantage because when they see a message from Afluencer, they know to pay attention to it, right? And it's not just, I think it's so busy out there on the broader internet, right. Instagram. It is tough to go find someone and just kind of DM them. You don't know them. And it's kind of weird on the negotiation side, right? Or it's like, hey, for collabs, email here or DM me for collabs. Yeah. And it's trickier on the negotiating side as well, because you don't have a backdrop. So we like to streamline everything so that we can have, hey, here's my collab for my affiliate program on Afluencer. So users of Afluencer can apply, and then you're aligned. So somebody can say, hey, I'm applying to this collab. You say, okay, it's a 25% affiliate commission. And they can't come back and say, it's $1,000 a post, because they know it was clearly stated in that offer that this is what we're paying, right? So that's why we like to also kind of segment and split things up into bite-sized pieces, I like to say, so that when it's just very transparent from both sides. Like, here's what we're paying for this opportunity. If you're interested, you can apply. Or if you're interested, you can accept the invitation. But that's really only possible because we have everyone as users of our system. And then I think the other thing that helps keep them in line is that, well, it helps keep people in line because they know if they step out, they'll get, I'll personally reach out to someone, and I usually do it nicely to see what's up, but it is good to have also kind of that, it's almost like a family with accountability where, we want everyone to take care of each other and be good partners with each other and kind of uphold that environment as well, which you can't do if they're outside the broader internet. So I've got the key, so I can always lock the door on someone until they give me the down low on what may have happened in a certain, whether a product was received or the post didn't happen, which is really nice having everyone as users. There's many advantages to having them as users. It's funny, I almost never thought to do anything different. And then that's come out more and more on demos over the last couple of years. And I think it's good that you brought it up because, I always found it surprising that, because from a marketer, a database it saves you some steps, but it's only so helpful. So in my vantage point, I want these people as actual users that we're going to partner with.
I see. And I guess that's the main value prop then, net, compared to, maybe the top of the food chain would probably be Grin, and there's other Upfluence, and there's Tracker and Tapfluence. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of different ones out there. You just easily search for them. But I think that's one of your unique value props then, is the fact that, you do separate the two, but they kind of work coherent or consistently together.
That's right. Yeah. And Grin, they're actually neighbors here in town. They started, I think, around 2013. So we're always kind of going in parallel. And that's actually a big reason why I kind of ended up doing Afluencer separate, because of the affiliate stuff throughout the 2010s. It kind of kept moving towards influencers. It's a different approach. Grin is very enterprisey.
Yeah.
The last kind of feedback I've got, I mean, it'll be about a $20,000 a year engagement.
Oh yeah, at least
to work with Grin.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's and they kind of, I think, try to work more as an agency. So for big companies, very big companies, it can make sense. My personal approach, this is my third software company, and I've always just kind of been a small business person where I like the selling, a very useful product for small business at a very reasonable price. So with us, you can get started. Shopify app is about as affordable as it gets. We also have free plans if you come in our front door and it's functional and you can post a collab. So that's always been my approach, is a very democratic, easy to get started with. You can try it out, see if it works, and then just kind of keep using it, because that's what I like from the small business software standpoint. So yeah, different kind of approach there. So with that, we make it very user friendly in terms of getting set up. So you don't have to. It's just you'll see if you go to the websites, it's different style. Many of the sort of old guard, higher end, as you said, you got to go through a demo. You got to talk to a sales guy.
Oh yeah.
With us, you don't. Right?
The crazy enterprise sales cycle.
Yeah, exactly. You're in enterprise land, and then we're the opposite. I've got YouTube videos out there. Every demo is kind of public, and you can install the app, you can use it, you can take a look, and I'm sure. I mean, of course, we have competitors who do that. Some will kind of take, so we say, inspiration from what we're doing, but we don't really worry about that. We just try to make it open, and you know what you're doing, because that's what I want in software that I use for our own.
The old saying company is, plagiarism is the best form of flattery. So
flattery, yeah, there you go.
It just kind of is what it is, right? I get it, and I think you're smart playing in that space too. On my wall, I have a plaque that Shopify sent me when we hit our 2 millionth merchant, and this was back a year or so ago, and so you're definitely playing in the right space. We have 2 million paying brands on Shopify, and I guess 12 or 13,000 Shopify Plus brands. So those more the mid-market to enterprise. And so you're playing in the larger pool of the 2 million. And certainly there's going to be some listening today that are going to be on Shopify Plus that maybe are certainly open to, and have maybe the bankroll to be able to want to test a collab with influencers or micro influencers they have never heard of yet, that are new and young and hustling and kind of want to do their thing, knowing they get access to the content through some kind of a rights management agreement. And I think that's really cool. It's cool that you're playing in that space. I do want to quickly pivot though to a story, because I think this is where I think people listening, they get really motivated when they think, hey, that's kind of sounds like me, or that's where I was. And they, decided to use Afluencer and implemented it. I don't know if I don't want to put you on the spot here, but is there anybody of note that you could maybe talk about publicly and saying, hey, they wanted to get involved with influencers and creators, didn't know what to do, found you, implemented your platform, and then kind of what happened on the other side by the collabs that they created?
Sure. Yeah. Happy to kind of rattle off. I kind of got a few off the top of my head. From the affiliate side, we have a user, kind of became a friend over the years. Raphael's his name. He has a product called Vela, or the company's called Vela, and he was kind enough to do a case study with us. So we have a PDF of that if anyone's interested. But he was doing affiliate marketing, and he wanted fitness influencers, but he wanted them to be able, be cool doing the 15% commission. It was kind of during shutdown. So this is back 2020, 2021. So it was great because he had these bands, exercise bands. You put it up and you do your resistance. Oh, and this is back when you could not get any weights, or no dumbbells, no barbells, no kettlebells, no nothing. Everyone was working out from home. So Vela he had product and he just needed to get it out there, but he had to do it kind of on a shoestring budget also, because you know how it goes on especially many of the newer Shopify merchants, right? You pour it all in, you get the product out, you get the store up, and now you're kind of tapped on money, right? And you're trying to get that. What can we do to scale? So we worked with Raphael, and we just promoted him we got a collab going for fitness influencers, and he was able to recruit over 100 affiliates it was just kind of a several month kind of campaign for him. So it was great to have that going and be able to kind of feed him affiliates. And same type of thing. He was using, I think he might have been, he was either lead down or reversion, I forget. But we would just kind of feed him into those systems. Mm-hmm. We had another Shopify merchant, Courtney is her name. Abililife is her company. It's kind of like a back brace. And Courtney, very smart, PhD. She's like a Renaissance woman, just kind of does everything smart as can be. And she tried, she's kind of done all the marketing channels, and I think did one of the 20K plus. She never told me who it was, but I think that was actually in her Shopify review that she left us also. She did try one of the 20,000 plus apps. Her approach with us, very smart. She did a collab, and she was doing pay per post. And what I kind of worked with Courtney on, I said, hey, what's working really well for us? And this is just kind of like an industry secret is, but that became not so much of a secret, but Reels, which are basically videos. The reason videos started to work well last year and still are today is that Mark Zuckerberg I think he kind of lost his mind trying to do other things, but two, he wanted to catch up with TikTok because TikTok was really, TikTok was like the next cool thing. TikTok was all videos. So what Zuckerberg started to do with Instagram and Facebook, but especially Instagram, and you'll see this today if you go on Instagram, it used to be all pictures. Now it's more videos, and they don't have enough supply still of videos. So if you work with someone, if you produce a video or you work with someone who produces a video for you, that thing has much more likelihood to get a lot of reach and visibility than a normal static picture post would. So Courtney kind of pivoted her campaign slightly, and we talked through it, and I said, hey, if you do offer $200 for a reel, and let's see, I think we can get some micro influencers and up on who can do some nice reels for you. And that worked out great. And it was the same type of idea where we're sort of in that sweet spot, 20,000 follower, 30,000 follower. Her product kind of had broad appeal. So it wasn't necessarily that we needed someone in specific interest. It was more about, hey, let's find someone with really high engagement whose followers are going to go buy the back brace if they see a video from her. And then we had another similar company. Sunny Bay was the company, and it was similar type of product. It was like a neck compression or decompression pillow, that type of thing, where it helps more if you see it. And we did the same, kind of recommended the same thing. So it was like that $200-ish type of opportunity. And we told them, hey, ask for reels. It's going to get you more bang for your buck. Now they only ship to the US, which is also common. So what we ended up doing, or I showed, is hey, if you're only shipping to the US, or if you're shipping to the US and Canada, what we want to do then also when an influencer applies is we can show where their followers are. So if US, Canada is all that matters to you, then fair enough. Let's just find out. We want US and Canada to be in the top percentages, right? So that she uses our stats on that to also figure out if someone's a good potential partner. So she'll look at engagement rate, that, and then have the person produce a video. And if it works, then now they're on the team, like you said, right? And they're doing a few videos every other month.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing those. I'll put these links, throw these guys a bone, I guess, all these kind of brands. And people are interested in these kind of products and stuff. It's nice to kind of spread the wealth around a bit and let the people know that these products are available, because there's so many, like I said, 2 million some Shopify brands. It's hard sometimes to kind of curate things that you might be interested in, and I'll have them in the show notes for sure. And that's good to hear. And I see you have a few case studies. I'm looking at the site right now too, so I'll make sure I put a link to that.
Nice, cool. Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah,
we are nearing the end of the show for today, but I mean, is there any kind of high-level insights or any kind of takeaways, those that are listening today that maybe can appreciate that there are benefits in finding a creator, an influencer, and getting set up? They're just not quite ready. They don't believe, but I think the show is probably showing the fact that it is so affordable and it's easy to test. Like, what are the typical next steps, or what kind of feedback would you give someone listening today to saying, no, you gotta get going on this, because this is the angle that's going to reduce your acquisition costs and improve your return on your ad spend?
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, that's it. You got to get going. And the reason you got to get going is that it's early days. So this is where all the value is. Because when was the last time we saw value from not that you can't get it to work, but when was the last time there was screaming value in Google AdWords? Like 20 years ago?
Yeah, probably.
15? I mean, it's been forever, right? Yeah. But if you could rewind the clock to 2003, you might be able to get AdWords to really work for you. So that's where you want to do, especially the micro influencers. Like, do that now. Don't wait 5 years for when you've got prices are higher and it's hard to get a hold. Everyone's busy. They're all working with brands. Like, do it now before. Well, I know it's a little confusing because it's new. It's new to your average listener, but it's new to everyone, and that's where really the advantage is in these new markets. And we know that it can work because it's just marketing 101, right? It's all about that relevancy. And now that I think social media has kind of evolved to where you can be hyper-focused and hyper-relevant, that's kind of your signal that it can work. And we do see it working for, many types, different types of brands and products. So that's why get in today while you can still get these deals and get it working. And get this little life hack with the Reels, which is great. Yeah. I've got a book I've been using. I've been working with a couple authors on our platform too, because they say, I've got a book. How do I promote a book? I'm like, look, I tried everything for a book. Books are terrible to market because they are so not cost effective. The only thing I've gotten to work is the micro-influencer thing, because you can have them create content and they can go leave you a review on Amazon. And it's kind of like that gift that keeps, do you know if a given campaign is going to work? No, you don't. But if you're going $100, it's a much more productive way, in my current experience of marketing, to spend money than to dump it into these channels that are very mature and very expensive. So that's why I think, hey, start now, because this is where the deals are at. We can kind of work together. We can brainstorm something, get out there, and we can try to see if we can turn that dollar invested into a lot more than just the dollar.
Very cool. I know we kind of had a quick chit chat in the green room kind of before recording today, and you mentioned that there's a 30-day free trial, and then there's some kind of a complimentary strategy session. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. Yes, I'm happy to get on the phone with any of your listeners, Steve, and kind of compare notes, look at what their product is, do a game plan, and share my account with you. I've got my own collabs going. I find like if we get on the horn, I do a screen share, usually in about 15, 20, 30 minutes max, we can get someone up and running, and away they go. Usually I don't hear from them much after that, which I take as a compliment because they're often going with that. But yes, I'm happy to do a complimentary session with anyone. Best way to do it is kind of get the app installed and then just mention eCommerce Fastlane, anything about this podcast, and we'll get you a link. You can book time. You can get time on my calendar, do a little screen share, and get up and running. And again, if it's not a fit, I'll tell you. But I would say most products we can find influencers for. But again, I'm going to be honest with you. I know we're all busy. We're all trying to find the best way to market our products. And, we can kind of work through that. But yeah, happy to do a strategy session with anyone interested.
Beautiful. So I'll have all this in the show notes then. So there'll be a link to Afluencer, the website, .com, and then also the Shopify App Store. I'll have a link for that. A couple of these brands, a couple of case studies. I'll have, I'll even create a pretty link, I call it, but ecommercefastlane.com /Afluencer, and that will redirect. Maybe we'll make a landing page on your site saying, hey, eCommerce Fastlane listeners, here's kind of the offer, 30-day free trial, and here's maybe a way of potentially scheduling or a lead capture for you on your end for brands to book an appointment to kind of have a 15-minute kind of chit chat to see if this is the right fit. So we'll kind of talk async about that. But yeah, Brett, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has really been eye-opening for me. I just, I feel like I'm talking to a peer. It's part of like my day-to-day at Shopify really is, to be a trusted advisor, and really try to help brands to grow and scale. And I know that that influencers in this kind of creator economy is such an important part. The UGC is so important. It really has so many long-term benefits for a very small amount of money now that your solution is available. And so I just want to thank you for, number one, building it. Number two, coming on the show. I just wish you tremendous success into the future. And thank you so much.
Thanks again, Steve. Yeah, it was fun talking with you. You're so knowledgeable in the space. So this is great. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. All right. Have yourself a great afternoon.
You as well. Thank you.
Well, that's it for today's episode. I'd like to thank you personally for being a loyal listener of eCommerce Fastlane. It's my hope that this podcast is offering you a ton of value through growth strategies, tactics, and exclusive insider tips on the best Shopify apps and marketing platforms, all with my personal goal to help you build, manage, grow, and scale a successful and thriving company powered by Shopify. Thanks for investing some time today and listening to the show. I'm so proud and excited that you have a growth mindset and are a constant learner. I truly appreciate you and your entrepreneurial journey. Enjoy the rest of the week and keep thriving with Shopify.